enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games, and that's what we do here on the drive-thru Monday through Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Is Server Live for sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And to deliver those winners, our professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. Let's take a peek at who's on the show with us for today. All right, we got Chris Ruffolo with us. It's Wednesdays with Mitch, Big Al McMordie, Rod Zawacky, Ninos, and Wayne Scott. And here's how they're going to line up for this evening. We've got Ruffolo, Mitch, McMordie, Scott, Zawacky, Ninos, and then I will close this one out. All right, baseball on the menu today was a 14-game card. We'll look down to about 7 in prime time, so we'll get this one underway. Let's go ahead and welcome in Chris Ruffolo. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs. We'll bring in Chris right now. Hope you catch him every day here at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time with that morning show, joined by Mitch and Rod. We'll bring Chris in right now. I think we're ready to roll here with Chris Ruffolo. Chris, ready to roll. Chris, what's happening?
Not much. I'm just enjoying the afternoon baseball, checking out the new digs on the drive-thru. I like the ticker going on at the bottom of the screen. I tell you, it's always moving, always improving.
Well, this is the time of the year to do that, right? Where you got to start getting the production in and upping the production qualities. We want to get the live odds. We want to get series odds graphics. We want to get a lot of other graphics that are out there for developers to use. And that's the whole idea here, right? Is upping the production, even making it even better, engaging the audience. Speaking of engaging the audience, I think this one can, right? Twins and Astros tonight here, 8 Eastern Time. Astros the big favorites here, minus 179, total 7.5.
Yeah, Tony, Hunter Brown for the pitcher for the Astros, the pitcher definitely we've taken a look at, and he's starting to really implement himself as a key piece in this Astros rotation. Four-tool pitcher, relies heavily on his fastball, which can touch 96, 97 miles an hour. And I think that'll work in his favor tonight. You got the Minnesota Twins, who in the last 2 weeks lead baseball in a dubious category, lead the league in strikeout percentage against right-handed pitching. Is a Twins team that is very reliant on home runs to get a lot of their production. And I just don't know if Hunter Brown's going to be the guy to get those home runs off of. The Minnesota Twins sending out Louis Varland here. Varland's been hit hard, and the Houston Astros, one of the best teams in baseball last 2 weeks against right-handed pitching, third in team OPS, and also tied for second in isolated power against right-handed pitching. This Houston Astros lineup has found a spark since Jose Altuve came back. They were playing well before he came back. I think the addition of Altuve getting back into the lineups really helped. I just don't see any way the Twins keep this close with Varland on the hill. I love the Houston Astros on the run line in this one. I liked them on the money line at first, but now I think I'm going for the value here at plus 113 on the run line.
All right, Chris says go run line with the Astros. Lay the run and a half, plus 113, getting the plus money here on the Astros side. Yeah, you look at Varland, does have issues with that home run ball. The FIP is at 5.5. That's its expected ERA based on these numbers. A lot of it has to do with that giving up the long ball.
Yeah, like I said, he's been getting hit hard pretty much all season. In the bottom 25% of pitchers in terms of exit velocity, hard hit percentage, has a brutal barrel rate around 13%. I think this could be a spot where you look for some home runs here as well. I think this is going to be a bit of an offensive clinic. I think it could be a bit one-sided here as well. That's why I'm rolling with the Astros on the run line.
All right, we got Chris here. Astros run line. Lay the minus 1.5 runs, plus 113 here against the Twins. This one to have a start time here of 8 Eastern Time. All right, Chris, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs for tonight's action. Of course, a lot of baseball here still on the board here. About a good 7 games left remaining here, left to be played. Good results in the NHL. We got to wait till Saturday, though, for the start of the NHL playoffs. NBA playoffs coming back tomorrow. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
So like I said, we got to wait till the weekend for the NHL, but still lots of stuff going on. Had all my baseball action today in the afternoon. Just waiting on the Pirates to come in for a potential winning day. But this is a great time to hop on long term. Got the NBA Finals kicking off tomorrow. Tons of baseball action to get us through the weekend. And it's also the best value to get you through the week of Pick Dogs. So make sure you go over and check out those long term passes.
That's right, guys. Get on board here with Chris Ruffolo over at Pick Dogs. As Chris was alluding to, those long-term passes are the best value right now, so get on board. Remember that promo code PICK at checkout will save you 15% off your premium pick package. Of course, remember the long-term passes are your best value there. 1 month pass will get you the entire NHL and NBA playoffs from Chris. All right, Chris, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you guys next week. Let everybody know what you got going over at Pick Dogs. We catch your videos every day. Of course, you and Rod with the Puck Dogs video series. Looking forward here to the NHL Stanley Cup Finals beginning Saturday, and of course the morning show as well.
Yeah, the morning show, the the Puck Dogs videos with Rod. You also got me doing the individual game videos and my home run prop video every day as well. And that's where you want to have your notifications turned on so that you can be the first to be in the know when that new content drops. As soon as it comes out, you guys get it and you get those picks in, and we get you some winners.
That's right, getting the winners here for Chris and Rod on that Puck Dogs Video Series morning show as well. All right, Chris, have yourself a great week. We'll catch up with you again next week.
Sounds good, Tony. Take it easy.
You got it. Chris Ruffolo here on the Drive Thru, guys. We'll continue here on the Drive Thru. Up next, bring in Mitch. It's Wednesdays with Mitch. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Mitch is 7 picks in 5 minutes. He's got some video series up here, Nerfies, Yerfies as well, betting tools. Bring Mitch in right now. Mitch, what's happening?
We had power outage, so that's why I missed the pregame, which I always enjoy hanging out with the cappers before the show. And I got into my studio and I realized that we had the power outage earlier, so all my equipment was off. So I had to everything resets, when you do that. So barely made it on, but I'm here and I'm glad to be here.
Glad to have you here, Mitch. All right, here we go. We're going to be working on more graphics here. We don't have the NBA series graphics done yet, but we're going to put up game 1 here, Heat and Nuggets, and Mitch is going to be looking at this NBA final series between Heat and Nuggets. We know the Nuggets are huge favorites here to win the NBA Finals. In game 1, we see Nuggets laying 9, a big number. We see 219 in this one. You'll be looking at this one a little differently.
Yeah, I'm be looking at it a lot differently. I'm looking at the series, and I think that this one is about as easy as it gets. I think when we saw the beginning of the last round of the playoffs, there was only 4 teams left, and the Celtics were plus 105, and the Heat were plus 1,300 going into the last round of the playoffs. They were the longest shot on the board, and they've been the longest shot on the board. And when we look at all of their playoff games this season, they've been pretty big dogs in just about every single game, except for that game against the Knicks where they closed them out at home and didn't cover the spread. But all the games against these other big shot teams, they've been big dogs, just like we see in game 1 here against the Nuggets. But the difference has been that the Heat find a way. And I think when you find a team like this that seems to find a way and wants it more than everybody else and has a great coach to go with it, oh boy, they are a very hard team to stop, and it really doesn't matter the sport. We see it all the time. We see wild card teams win the Super Bowl in the NFL. We see 8th seeds in the NHL finals. We see an 8th seed here in the NBA finals and an 8th seed in the NBA finals that should be favored in this series. They have beaten 2 teams in 2 series with way better records than the Nuggets had this season, and they beat them pretty decisively. They let the Celtics back into the series. The series ended up being 4-3, but it was a lot not as close as it was on paper. All the games that the Heat won, they dominated. The game that the Celtics won in Miami, it was a tip-in with 2 seconds left, or 0.2 seconds left, that was time that was added to the clock totally, subjectively by the referees, and that was the difference in that game. You don't add that time back on the clock. There is no tip in, and it really didn't matter anyway, because at the end, when push came to shove, and when the Heat had something to prove, and when the Celtics had something to prove, it was all Heat, just like it was in that Bucks series, who had the best record in the NBA this season. Far better than the Denver Nuggets. We know that the Nuggets won the regular season games against the Heat. Just adds more value for the Heat once again. The Heat were 4th most time missed by starters due to injury this season. And, the other 3 teams that finished behind them, all lottery teams, most of them the top few teams in that lottery. So, the Pistons and, those type of teams. So this team just a little bit different. A coach that's been there and done that. A bunch of players that have been there. We have a Nuggets team that has never been there. And I got to say, the first time through is always the hardest. Ask Wayne Gretzky when he went in with his first great team. And we're saying Joker is a great player and all that stuff. And, Porter Jr. is a nice player and Jamal's a nice player. But the thing is that, that first time through to the finals and you're up against a guy like Jimmy Butler who kind of knows what it takes. You're in deep doo-doo here in this game and in this series. And the thing is that, we've seen it a million times in sports, and we're going to see it once again for the next 4 to 5 games or however long it takes the Heat to clean these guys out. But people that are going to be jumping on the Nuggets are going to say, how could I have not taken the Miami Heat? How can I let them beat me again? And I think, that's basically what happened here. Last series, it went 7 games, but we were plus big money for the Heat in that series. Only one game where they favored in the whole series, and they were minus 125 in that. We got them at plus 375 in game 1. We got them at plus 300 in game 2. We got them in game 3 at plus I think they were plus 200 in that one. And then in game 7 we got them at minus 1 at plus 283 in that game. So you take that, you minus the 325 that we lost on the 3 losses, and we were way up on the Heat. Same thing with the Bucks series. Same odds that we got, except we only lost 1 game that series. The Heat have been a cash cow, and they're going to continue to be a cash cow all the way through to the hoist the trophy. And I don't know why anyone would be surprised. You have a coach that's been there, more than half of his career has been spent in the NBA Finals. I don't know, man. I do not see the love for the Nuggets that they're getting here. And, they can't beat Joker. Well, they beat Giannis, and, they beat some other pretty good teams along the way. They beat a Celtics team that played in the finals last year with 4 superstars on the same team, and they beat them. So they sure as heck can take down a Denver Nuggets team that finished with the 3rd best record in the NBA. Anyways, that's my filibuster. I'm sticking to it.
All right, Mitch here on Heat to win NBA title plus 320. Of course, we saw Jamal Murray. We've seen him getting better now, right? I've always felt that in the beginning of the year that he needed 20 to 30 games. With the injury history he had, he was a little slow, but we started to see post All-Star break Murray come to life here, helping out Jokic here. Absolutely. You see how Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Mark Smart, you see how they shot threes against the Heat? I think these guys are going to fare any better. Do you think it was that the Celtics just went cold shooting, or that you had a genius coach who figured out a strategy to put them in uncomfortable situations, taking uncomfortable shots? That's the difference. It's like the Heat are not getting credit for what they've done. They continue to have to earn it, and all they do is read the clippings. Believe me, they know good and well what the odds are for this game, and they know good well what the odds are for the series, because they interviewed Bam Adebayo after game number 2, and he just said, "Why do you guys not pick us? Every single game, you never pick us." And he's like, he goes, "Well, what'd you guys talk about down by 15 with 4 minutes left to go, and you guys mounted the comeback? That none of you guys picked us. That's what we talked about." And it's like they use it as a chip on their shoulder, and believe me, they're gonna beat them up, and it's gonna be like the Nuggets that we've seen in the playoffs when they always go out with a whimper, and they're gonna go out with a whimper again this season. Yeah, any bad? Of course, there has been some bad blood since that 2021 incident. Do you see any of that filtering over here in this series? I think in the series with the Nuggets and the Heat. Well, they had in this series, there was the confrontation with Jokic knocking down a player, got a flagrant one, and Butler and Jokic had words real heavy. Butler's had words with everybody, and these are competitive guys. These are competitive guys. They're going to have these moments. You look back historically at the NBA and the NBA Finals and stuff like that. I remember, James Worthy holding back Larry Bird and Byron Scott taking shots at him. This is what the NBA Finals is. You have the most competitive teams, the most competitive players, and you're at this stage that you don't get it this far. The NBA Finals, you can't get there by luck, winning 3 7-game series. You had to win 3 7-game series just to get here. Against the best of the best. The lousy teams, they were in the lottery draw. None of those teams were in this one, and it just goes to show you, and the stars were out too, in the playoffs. It wasn't like Oklahoma City, or New Orleans with Zion Williamson sitting on the bench, squeaked into the playoffs or something. That didn't happen. It was Embiid. It was Tatum. It was, Joker, LeBron. It's the big names and the big guys on the biggest stage. And the Heat have shown they are not backing down from anybody. In fact, they're going more at them. The bigger the stage gets, the harder they come. They headed back to Game 7 in Boston. They didn't even flinch. They ran them over like they were like a Mack truck.
The Celtics never were in the game. They never had a shot. They never rallied, made it close. Oh boy, nail biter. No way. It was a runaway. The only difference was it going to be 10 or was it going to be 50? And it landed right in the middle at 20. And it was 21. And I believe that this series is going to be the same.
Yeah, it would have never gotten to a game 7 had Miami not commit 16 turnovers. Remember, Boston shot just 40% from the field.
I think when a team commits 16 turnovers, you have to credit the defense of the other team. Yeah. You have to give credit at some point to the other team. The Celtics have 4 guys that are considered on the star level, on the superstar level. They have 4 players like that. The Heat have 1. Yep. And he's not even considered in the same league as that. And I think you go by you when you look at the odds, which I rarely ever even look at this stuff, except when I'm making my bets, trying to shop the lines and get the best possible odds, out there. That's the only time I'm really looking. I'm not doing that when I'm handicapping. I'm handicapping on a money line who I think is going to win the game. And it's like, I don't care, the odds might be enticing, but I'm going by who's going to win the game. And I don't care what the odds are on the board. I mean, they don't even make sense. These are sucker bets, and it's like they've sucked the public in, just like they did with the Bucks, just like they did with the Celtics. And the public's going to get smacked around and say, "Oh my God, that's fixed." This is what they say: Vegas got us. No, Vegas didn't get you. What got you was the greatest coach in the history of the game, maybe 1A right now. You give Pop the best coach out there. This guy's 1A. And by the time he's all said and done, I believe he will pass him.
All right, Mitch. So we've got just to share with the MVP here. Of course, it's heavily slided toward Nick Jokic of Denver win. I mean, Jokic minus 360, Butler plus 330. But a lot of long shots here in the Miami side. If it's not Butler, who would it be? And would you put a bet on MVP Butler since you've got the obviously the Heat to win it?
Well, I think the only places you can go are Bam or Butler. They generally don't give Finals MVPs to also ran players, to contributors. They give it to the big names. I mean, we saw it in the Super Bowl a few years ago when James White was clearly the MVP of the Super Bowl, and they gave it to Tom Brady. I mean, it's you see, and when we saw Patrick Mahomes get the MVP. The first time the Chiefs won it, when he clearly wasn't the MVP, it was the running back, the one that had been with the Dolphins or whatever. He was a journeyman running back. He was the MVP for sure. And wasn't even close. But the thing is, like, they don't go that route. So it's either going to be Jimmy Butler or Joker. Probably safe bets on that. But I think Jimmy Butler will probably earn it. I mean, he's done it. He's carried this team on his back, and it's like it's not just what he does on the court and the stats that he puts up. It's the everything else, and that does count. The whole attitude of this team, the whole we're going back to Game 7 in Boston, big deal.
Yeah.
We beat their ass there, several times over. It's like, and we're going to do it again.
All right, there's Mitch, the NBA, Heat to win the NBA title, plus 320. Do your line shop, get the best numbers. All right, Mitch, like what you do, go around the league with Mitch here with these finals here. Tigers, I think, salvage one here, 3-2 here against the Rangers.
Yeah, I thought that the Rangers had some chances, weren't able to take advantage of it. The Tigers, Marisnik, his first hits with the Tigers really made them count, and I thought he played really well. This Tigers team just barely outside of first place in the American League Central. This is almost a 500 team. They have a better record. They're equal with the Mets, really, in the grand scheme of things, and better than the Phillies. So it's just, this is how public perception skews it. The Tigers are a better team than the Padres, but the Padres, are seen as this so much better team. I would say the pitching staffs are maybe equal.
All right,
unless you think Ryan Weathers is just head and shoulders above
Musgrove and Darvish are two pretty good starters. Musgrove, of course, remember those numbers skewed. He had Mexico City start, but yeah, you got Darvish up there.
Hasn't been as good as he was the last 2 years. Darvish is good Yu Darvish or bad Yu Darvish, man. He can be shelled.
Yep. Angels get to Lynn, and they got to Lynn big today. And you got to worry about Lynn. Maybe he's tipping off. He's got a really good strikeout, right? Maybe he's tipping off pitches. But anyway, Angels pound him 12-5.
Lance Lynn was born with runners on base, and he's been a guy that's always traditionally stranded a lot of runners. And this year, he's not stranding those runners. They're all crossing the plate. He is pretty much a sieve, floodgates wide open, and the White Sox are going to lose games like this, teams like this. It's just part of being a White Sox fan. They'll beat Ohtani. They'll lose games like this.
This one goes under again. Rays and Cubs, pretty much a low-scoring series. The Rays get by them 4-3.
Yeah, the Cubs, they played really well in this series, even though they took the loss in this one. They had runners on base and were in position to win this game in the ninth inning. They were unable to get it done, but it was a heck of a game.
Yeah, it was. We've got the Guardians. They give a high-scoring affair here. Guardians 12-8 behind Bieber on the mound. Voth is someone that the Orioles would win for when he gets in starting role. He's got a starting role today. Guardians 12-8.
Orioles have some work to do. They're going to have to make some moves. This is a team that really has a lot of money and traditionally has spent a lot of money. Remember Miguel Tejada and some other guys like that. So, it's not like this is a cheap organization or penny pinchers. They're trying to grow through their minor league system and build the model that a lot of these other, championship teams in recent years have done. But I think what the Orioles also need to do is fill in some of those gaps with free agency like a lot of these other teams did, or in the trade market. So like Grayson Rodriguez has that big high side, but all that gets you is a trip back to the minors, these days, and that's where he's headed. So they needed Rodriguez to really step it up. Without John Means, they don't have the pitching staff, and we're seeing it here in this series against the Guardians and the Rangers. Two of the better teams gave the Orioles a big fit. But the thing is, they've taken care of business against the lesser teams, so they're still well above 500, and they're not in trouble at this point.
Not trouble with this. Points up. Braves athletics. Braves salvage when they even cover the run line for those run line chasers out there. 4-2. Braves get the win.
Yeah, congratulations to you, Braves backers. I only ended this 3-game series up 370 something, taking the A's on the money line 3 times. I'm a value better, and I thought the A's were great value in game 1 of the series with the Braves traveling cross country at night back here, against an A's team that had lost 11 games in a row. No matter how bad you are, you're not going to lose them all. And I think the A's showed that. I'll tell you, they had guys on base. They're almost backdoored that run line too at the end of the game. That's
right. Pirates and Giants. Pirates salvage. The Giants have been playing well at home. They've dropped this one. Keller was the starter here. Of course, the Braves pitching was Giants were issues. You saw Brebbia. Then, of course, Manet has just been a disaster this year. Pirates win at 9-4.
Depending on where the Pirates are and what direction they want to go, boy, if they want to unload Keller at the trade deadline, they're going to be able to basically get a future All-Star team for him. He is the pick of the litter, I guess you could call him, for those Pirates pitchers. But I don't think they're going to let go of him anytime soon. This guy has really good stuff, but he's one of these guys that over time, over the course of a 162 game season. It takes a couple of years of going through that in order to be able to endure it over the long haul. That's what makes the great pitchers like the Kershaws and the Verlanders great, is that they don't just do it at the beginning of the season. They don't just do it in spurts. They do it in August. They do it in July. They do it in April. They do it all the time. And it's hard. And I think we saw guys like Cole, throughout his career, same thing. Every year he gets about a month. He got about a month better. See where he is now.
All right, game in progress right now. The Dodgers have tied it up. This one's going to go over again. So that means Nationals 10-0 to the over when they face the starting pitcher with an ERA of 5.5 or worse. 5-5 tie in this one. It figured to be a high score when we saw Corbin and the Syndergaard on the hill.
Yeah, I really like the Nationals in this game. I gave them out as my dog of the day, which has been absolutely smoking red hot. We hit with the Cincinnati Reds yesterday in the dog of the day. And we've hit, I believe, 9 of our last 10. The only loss that we've had on Dog of the Day was the Heat on the money line on Saturday. We hit Heat on the money line on Monday. We hit Reds yesterday. We have the Nationals in this one today. And we've hit many other ones in between. But I do think the Nationals were the play in this game. I still am on them here, obviously.
They're threatening here. 2 runs, runner on second and third, no outs.
Yep. Oh, they're going to win this game. They've definitely been the more aggressive team, hitting the ball well. Candelario hit one to deep center off of Syndergaard. It only went 405, but it looked like it went 540. It was one of those ones that it was just a little bit to the low side, so it didn't get the actual distance that it got. The nice thing about this game, Tony, I like that they still have the organ player at Dodger Stadium. A lot of these stadiums, we have this discussion on our morning show that a lot of stadiums have replaced the organ player with a band or with, just a straight DJ music, right? But the Dodgers still with the organ player playing my favorite song, which is dun 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 dun. Yeah, it's like to me that is live sporting event. Hearing that song, either baseball or hockey. It's not so much for football. Football is just dun 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 dun, but for baseball or hockey, dun 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 dun.
Yep, that's right. The crowds get fired up when the PA announces when they're on defense. Third down. Whenever you hear the third down,
I like the organ player. I just think that's like kind of right. That's
in football though. In football,
going to the ballpark.
In NFL though,
what's that?
In NFL games too, or just baseball? Just baseball.
No, NFL they only have the stereo. Yeah, they only have like.
Or whenever the PA announcer announces third down and the home team's on defense, that's when the crowd comes in. But that's.
I hate the announcing of the first down with sound effects. If it's like the Bengals or something, they play like a roar or something for a first down.
Or that Minnesota. What's that Minnesota thing they do with Minnesota? They've got that horn.
Skull.
Yeah, the skull.
Horn. Well, the horn they do before the game. I like that.
Yeah,
but I don't like the first down celebrations. But I do think that the organ player Dodger Stadium, I think it's like iconic, and I appreciated it there watching the game. I usually will record an organ player playing my favorite song on the iPhone, and then I play it on our morning show saying I was watching the game last night, and they're playing, because Chris, Rod, and I, we kind of all go over it because Edmonton, ironically, one of the places where they replaced the organ player in the crowd, and so which leads us to the question: Nationals out at the plate here.
Second and
but
third. They did a little
first
rundown.
And third now.
A little rundown. Caught the guy between second and third, but second
still
and third.
One out.
Yep. They're still threatening her one out. We'll see if they walk him, set up the double play. We'll see how that rolls. All right, Mitch, you're on NBA the Heat to win the NBA title plus 320. Do your shopping. All right, Mitch, let everybody know what's happening over at Pick Dog Sports. Chat Play says we're heading into June.
Well, we have more videos now during the slow time of year than we've ever had. We have more live shows than we've ever had. We have more everything than we've ever had, and we have more on the way. I'm so excited about it. I can't even tell you. We're not planning on doing a 24-hour YouTube video channel. It just is working out that way. That's going to take 24 hours to watch all the content that we have. I'm just really excited about our crew and everybody that's everyone that's doing it. We know baseball is considered the slow time, and like you said, these are the time that we work on things. We released our new version of sportschatplace.com, but it's not nearly done. So be on the lookout for that. 2 outs now for the Nationals. We need to hit.
Strikeout. Yep, a strikeout there, so no doubt. All right, Mitch, as always, great having you on the show. Have yourself a great week. We'll catch up with you again next week.
All right, Tony, thanks for having me, and thanks to everyone all the cappers that appear on this show all week long and always do their best at Pick Dogs. We don't win every game. We don't claim to, but we certainly try to and want to. So, if we're working for Vegas, we're working for the side that gets everybody paid.
That's it. That's what matters. All right, Mitch. Have a great one. Mitch here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on our coverage. We're going into baseball now here with Big Al McMordie. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs. So we'll bring in Big Al right now with a baseball pick for you here on the show. I think we're ready to roll with Big Al. Big Al, what's happening?
Oh, not much, Tony. How are you?
Doing great. All right, here we go tonight. Major League Baseball here on the board with Big Al. So we're going to be looking here at this Brewers and Blue Jays game. Manoa on the Hills had his issues today. Blue Jays this year. Blue Jays favored minus 152. Look at this total of 10.
Yeah, Julio Teheran's going to get his second start of the season. For folks who have short memories, he was a great pitcher, not too long ago for the Atlanta Braves. He then got injured in the 2021 season. And we haven't seen him for the last 2 years. He was completely shelved after one start in 2021. Last year, he played in the Independent Atlantic League, also was in the Mexican League, and now he's making a comeback. And this is a 2-time former All-Star. And, he had a great first start for Milwaukee. He gave up just 4 singles and 1 earned run over 5 innings. They did lose the game 5-0 because Milwaukee didn't score at all. But, Tehran, acquitted himself really well. Now he's going to get a second start tonight for this injury-ravaged Brewers, pitching staff. And he's going to go up against a guy who I used to like betting on. I don't like betting on him anymore, and that's Alek Manoah. Manoah, he has all the talent in the world, but he's just not putting it together. Tony, as you alluded to, he had an okay April. He actually had 1 start in March, but he had an okay first month of the season. But his second month of May, he's just fallen off a cliff. He's 0-4 in the 5 starts so far this month with a 6.45 ERA, a 2.01 WHIP. His walk rate is now 7.25 per 9 innings over this month. His strikeout to walk ratio is a dismal 1.0, so he's not doing anything right for Toronto. And now you're asking the Blue Jays to lay a pretty healthy price. I'm actually going to take the Brewers here, plus 1.5 runs at minus $1.35. I think that's the best bet. Toronto, they're a terrible 13-21, minus 26.4 net games at home off back-to-back wins. And with Manoah on the mound against winning teams, they're just 9-16. Minus 12.6 net games. I like Milwaukee plus the 1.5 runs, Tony.
All right. Big Al McMordie says go Milwaukee run line. Take the 1.5 minus 133 against Toronto. Yeah, Manoah has had his issues. I've always wondered about these big, these big muscular guys, the big stocky guys. They've always had their issues, I think, in Major League Baseball. I see many of them in the bullpen, and you got to wonder if stamina is an issue. Now they got the clock is an issue now with some now in baseball. It's just kind of interesting to see what's happening.
I don't know. I just think sometimes you just have to. They're just excuses. I mean, CC Sabathia never had, problems. I mean, he could, pitch great, in August and September, and sometimes they look for these.
That's true.
Even
that lefty. Who was that lefty that was on the Yankees? The big guy. Oh man, it escapes me. He was in the same era. He's in that same era. Another big guy.
I can't remember.
It's just so many years, right? It's tough.
Some guys have the stamina, and some guys just don't. Put it together.
Yeah. It's just been a rough year here for Manoah, and it's been tough at home too here. And of course, Tehran here on the mound. Big Al McMordie likes the Milwaukee here run line plus 1.5 minus 133 against Toronto. Any initial thoughts here in this NBA Finals? What anything you're looking at?
I'm not as buoyant as Mitch is. I don't think it's an open and shut case. I think the team that wins Game 2 will win the series. I'll just put it that way.
All right.
But I wouldn't be so dismissive of Denver's chances.
There you go. Interesting. We're going to see now the Mile High, the issues here with the high elevation here with the Eastern Conference team. We'll see how that factors into it here. Big Al here on, although I don't know if you look in your database that I get the Nuggets success against Eastern Conference teams at home.
Well, we talked about, was it about a week ago, about how they had only lost 1 game with Jokic in the lineup versus Western Conference teams, which means, I think, what was the record, like 33-1 straight up or something versus Western Conference teams at home with Jokic in the lineup, which means that their other 6 losses were either against Eastern Conference teams or without Jokic in the lineup.
That's right.
But, you can throw all those stats out at this time of year. There's only 7 games left, and the team that wins 4 of the 7 is going to win. And the travel is equal. Both teams are traveling to and from the cities at the same time, so there's no advantage there.
And a lot of rest. Every game will have, the teams will have 2 days of rest, except Game 4 where there's 1 day of rest. So the Game 1 scheduled here June 1st, Game 7 scheduled June 18th.
Yeah, so it's should be a good series.
Maybe the NBA is telling you something. I think the NBA is telling you something with this scheduling. That these players, you need to give these players at least 2 days off to get the best product on the court.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree.
6 games. They have at least 2 days off here. But anyway, here we go. Big Al McMordie, run line with the Brewers. Take the plus 1.5, minus 133 here against Toronto. This one will have a start time here of 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right, Big Al, let's take a go over at Pick Dodge for tonight's action. So good results in the NBA. NBA Finals begin tomorrow. Still baseball on the board tonight. What do you have going on over at Pick Dodge Premium?
Well, I've got one baseball play today. I've got my USFL play already posted for the weekend, hitting 65% in USFL and XFL plays the last 2 years. I've 19 and 5 my last 24 NBA, and I've got the game one winner posted for tomorrow already, and also be on the show with Jay Briggs tomorrow. We'll do the live NBA show for folks who want to check that out. So a lot of good stuff going on.
That's right, guys. Got a big McMordie over at Pick Dodge from great results in NBA, but over the last 7 days, 650 units of profit, going great profit here the last 30 days. Red Hot NBA run 13-2. Big Al get his game one winner right now over at Pick Dogs Premium, or of course also action here on the board from USFL baseball as well. When you get the long-term passes here, so get on board with Big Al. You want to get the 1 month pass? Go for it. That covers the entire NBA, NHL final series, as well as spring football, and of course Major League Baseball for 30 days. Get on board. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save 15% off. Add a second capper with that too for capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Big Al, as always, great having you show. To you, that success. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, Tony. Thanks so much.
You got it. Big Al McMordie here on the drive to. Let's continue on. Guys, if you miss a pick, we're going to recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. Let's continue on here. It is now time for Wayne Scott. Catch him over at Pick Dog Prim. We'll bring Wayne in right now. I think we're ready to roll here with Wayne Scott. Wayne, what's happening?
What's going on, Tony T? What's going on, Pick Dog family?
Everything's going great, Wayne. Tonight we go to Major League Baseball. Late night game tonight. Features the Yankees on the road here against the Mariners. Mariners are favored in this one here at -140 here. We see a total here at 7.5. Keep an eye on the pitchers here. Schmidt on the mound here for the Yankees, facing Kirby for the Mariners.
Yes, sir. Seattle is favorite, rightfully so in my mind. You know what you got, Clark Schmidt or Young Shitted on the other side on the Yankees. He's 2-5 this year. We know he's been kind of forced in this lineup due to pitcher injuries, and he hasn't lost his spot yet, but he has not been playing too great this season. And he has a 5.5 ERA, 1.6 WHIP. He's on the road where he has a 7.2 ERA, 1.9 WHIP. And it's nighttime. He has a 4.3 ERA and a 1.6 WHIP. With all that being said, I do think he gets rocked tonight. I think he can possibly give up this over on his own. But we go to the other side of this, and we have George Kirby on the mound. He's had better outings, way better outings than Schmidt. But to me, he's going to have a good game, bad game, good game, bad game. He's had a bad game last game, giving up 9 hits, 7 earned runs, 4 home runs. In his last 3, he's regressed with a 5.4 ERA and a 1.4 WHIP. I think either one of these pitchers can give up this over alone. I know they've had a slightly better outing. That's maybe why this total is a little lower. Seattle off of losses 14-12, which is positive to the over. And Yankees, after a win, they're 20-12-1 to the over. Both of these clubs have been hitting righties well. Both of these pitchers are righties. Yankees are 11th in runs scored. They're a great batting team. Mariners not so much. 18th in runs scored. But like I said, we got Young Shitted on the mound tonight. So I definitely expect for him to give up a lot of runs. Also, Yankees are 6-0 in their last 6 against American League when coming to the over. And in this series in general, over is 5-1-2 in the last 8 meetings, and the over is 6-2-1 in the last 9 meetings in Seattle. I don't see no way this one stays under. I'm loving the over. We got a 10-2 in the game, 10-4 the game before this, and 10-2 the game before that. And I see this one going clearly over 8 runs in this one.
All right, we got Wayne here. Yankees, Mariners over 7.5 here. Schmidt on the hill here for, as Wayne was mentioning here, for the New York Yankees. Does have a FIP of 4.24, maybe an indicator of ERA going down, but that's still pretty high. But one thing you can't deny here, Wayne, is ever since we know we get that Judge back in the lineup, we have seen this Yankees team hit and put up runs.
Yes, sir. They've gotten 10 runs back to back, and I'm curious to see how they come out here and hit Kirby tonight. Like I said, Kirby has had a few good outings, but if you look at his last game, you can see some regression. And as I pointed, Schmidt hasn't had too many good games all season. He's really in there because of some injuries, and I definitely think he gets rocked tonight, man. I definitely see the runs coming from both sides. Seattle has scored 2 and 4, and I think they can at least muster up their favor. So the books consider them to get some runs tonight, and I think that we can get over to 7.5 tonight.
Over 7.5, just a little trend to share with you guys. Mariners are just 12-20 when they face winning teams this season. Yankees Mariners over the total here, 7.5 runs. This one will have a start time here of 9:40 Eastern time. All right, Wayne, let's take over at Pick Dodge Pin for tonight's action. Of course, showing great profit here over the last 30 days. 491 units of profit, all documented over at Pick Dodge Pin. 7-game card in the prime time for Major League Baseball. What do you have going over at the site?
My best bet went off already. I had the Angels straight fade of big boy Lance Lynn, and went the way I loved it. And I have one more play out there for sale. My Cujo big dog play today, which is an underdog that I love the most today. I got that out for sale for y'all. I do have a totals play, but that's for everybody long term. So check me out long term. Pair me up with these handicappers, and let's continue to cash, man.
That's right, guys. Continue cash here with Wayne Scott over at Pick Dodge Pim. So great results here. 491 units of profit. So get on board with Wayne over at Pick Dodge Pim. Also showing profit last 7 days and yesterday. Of course, he does have his long-term passes. That's the way to grow his MLB Cujo Big Dog. That's the $19 premium play. Remember, the one-day passes are credit guaranteed. They must turn a profit, or the amount you purchase is credit back to your account for site credits. That is credit guarantee on the one-day pass, not the long-term passes, because they're already sold at a massive discount. All right, Wayne, as always, great having you show. Continue that success, and we'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
I appreciate you, Tony T. Thank you for having me, and I'll be on to give y'all another banger. Hope this let's get it.
Let's get it. Indeed. Wayne Scott here on the drive-thru. Guys, if you missed any picks, we're going to recap at the end of the show, so make sure you stay tuned for that. All right, we're going to come up, continue on here on the drive-thru. Let's see who's up next here. We're going to go out to Rod Zawacky. You'll catch him over at Pick Dog Stream. Of course, Rod's been good to us here on the show with the winning picks. And, of course, you can catch him every day here at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time with that morning show. But we got to get to Rod here, get to his pick here. Going to a little NL West action here from Rod Zawacky. We're kind of kidding about the Diamondbacks Dodgers. They're having a wild game today, right? A wild one up there in Dodger Stadium. Bring him in right now. Rod, what's happening?
Hey, how's it going? It's a hot Wednesday, and this Nationals. See, they got you on Monday, got me on Tuesday, and look, they're going to get the win here.
I know, right? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do, right? It's a wild one, 8-6. A big 3-run homer to break that 5-5 tie, and then look at Mookie Betts got the home run there last inning. 8-6 here, bottom 8th. Dodgers over the runner on second in scoring position, bottom 8th here. And we'll see how that rolls. It's been a wild one tonight, going well over the total. But this one here tonight, Rockies and Diamondbacks here. They had one over, one under. So we'll see how this goes. Rockies are going to be dogs, as you'd expect here. Minus 150 here on this Diamondbacks team with Henry on the hill. Dinelson Lamet, boys, that's a name from the past. I used to be a big. I remember Mitch and I did a show a long time ago, and and Lamet was just coming up, and he was just so high on this guy. Oh, this is one of the top prospects I ever heard him high on was Lamet. Really liked this guy. Just didn't pan out. Maybe a lot of injuries there with the Padres, but anyway, Rockies plus 138, total sits 10.
Yeah, Nielsen Lamet is getting this start. Definitely injuries have rocked him early on in his career. He definitely got high velocity fastball, but definitely control issues, and it's not been pretty when he's got the start. You look, he has his lone little start that he had. He's got a 2.44 WHIP. Yikes! Yikes! That's just not going to get it done for a starting pitcher. On the other side, you look at Henry's getting the start. He's not no prize chicken either. He's 1-0 with a 4.63 ERA in his last 3. So he has been pitching a little better over his last few starts. So, but he's definitely prone to giving up runs as well. And you look at both bullpens. They got ERAs over 4. Both of these bullpens after they handed over from the starters, which could be early handing it to the bullpen. And you look over these bullpens over the last 10 games, and you know what? I'd lean to Arizona to get the win, as their bullpen's definitely been better holding teams over the last 10 to under 3 runs. While the Rockies, their bullpen's ERA is skyrocketed over the last 10 to over 6 runs. And you look at the Rockies, after scoring 2 runs or less, they are 5-0 to that over. They're also 4-0 to the over in their last 4 game 3s of a series. And you look at this Arizona Diamondbacks team; they are 6-2 to the over in their last 8 in Game 3 of the series. With these starters going and the way the bullpens are going, we can still be here late into the evening getting the over. So I like the over 10 in this one. Runs early and often.
Yeah,
if it was in Colorado, would they be eating tacos and going tacos?
Yeah, they would be. You know, and they're going to be in Arizona here. And, I mean, I'm with you here. I mean, the thing here, we know Lamet is the walks, right? 21% strikeout, a walk rate. 21%. His walk rate's almost higher than his strikeouts. That's amazing. And the thing with Henry is that, 12.5, this time when you're 12.5% strikeouts, you're giving up a lot of contact. I know it's the Rockies, but, man, you're pitching that high contact and 10% walks. That's a recipe for disaster. He's almost given up 2 home runs per 9 innings himself.
Right, exactly. So even with Lamet going, like I said, Henry's on the other side, and he could definitely give up some runs, and these Rocky bats could get to him. I think both sides get rocked. I think neither of these starting pitchers equate in who gets the win in this one, but they do enough to get us the over. There's just some nice juicy balls right over the plate to get smashed out of here. So
a lot of contact. Bring your glove, as they say. Bring your glove. They'll be good.
Yeah, bring your glove to the ballpark.
Bring your glove. Tonight. Rockies D-backs over 10. This one have a start time 9:40 Eastern time. All right, Rob, let's go over at Pick Dodge from tonight. Well, 7 games on the board for Major League Baseball in the primetime hour. Of course, we get into the NBA tomorrow as well. What do you have going over at Pick Dodge Premium?
Over Pick Dodge Premium, my $20 play of the day. It's went off earlier. It was with the Pirates. We hit that one, moving us to 5-1 on that play. So I reconstituted the package, and I've got 2 plays left for you. Made it my MLB double dogs, 2 both plus money winners that I love in the remaining 7 games we got tonight. So head on over, scoop that up. You can get both plays, $35 over at Pick Dogs Premium. Or hey, jump aboard, 3-day, 7-day, 30-day. We got the game 1 in the NBA. Just about to load that up for sale pretty quick. Got my play for game 1. NHL on the weekend as well. So lots of sports action. Jump aboard. Use that promo code PICK at checkout. Save 15% off all your purchases. Come and join me. Let's make some money as we pound the bookies hard.
Pound the bookies indeed with Rod Zawacky over at Pick Dodge Premium. He's got his double dogs up there for you right now, or the long-term pass. Go for it. That 30-day pass will get you all of Rod's plays, NHL and NBA Finals in its entirety there, as far as the baseball as well. All right, Rod, as always, great having you on the show. Have yourself a great evening. We'll catch up with you again on Steak Friday. But what are your thoughts on this NBA Final Series?
See, you look at everybody thinking it's going to be quick, and the Nuggets are just going to roll right over the Heat. Well, I think they disrespect the Heat all the way from the start of the NBA playoffs. Where they've come into, and I think the series is going to be a little bit closer than a lot of people are thinking here. I don't know about game 1. Denver's rested and ready to go, so I don't know about game 1, but definitely I think this is going to be a lot longer series than what people are giving the Heat credit for.
Yeah, the adjustment game.
From the Heat already, it's like everywhere I see is like Denver in 4, Denver in 5, Denver in 4. It's like Denver everywhere. It's like, what? I don't know. Both games this early in the season, one was a 4-point win and a 5-point win. Well, those are pretty close games, and the one was earlier in the season, and how many Miami players were injured in that first game of the season that they didn't get the Heat didn't get their team gelling until they got late into the season and early in the playoffs, where they got 100% healthy.
Well, it happened is when they were in that elimination game, right? They had to play that when they lost that 7 versus 8 game, and then they woke them up. Well, we're facing elimination, They woke them up.
Backs against the wall, right? They put their backs up against the wall, and they were like, hey, wait. And
they did start playing well toward the end of this regular season at home. That's something that I noted that toward
at home.
At home. They started really
worst. Yeah. Worst team in the NBA record at a regular season at home, and then right late in the season they started to turn that around, and it was like, ooh,
you started to see that. That was something, when you look at the numbers, I started to see, you put the pin number there on the post All-Star break, you started seeing those numbers improve greatly by the Heat there. So, all right, so you got a little insight there.
As they started getting players back.
Yeah.
Right? Because they hit guys that were injured, and then just slowly inserted guys back in. And I think Lowry was hurt quite a bit, and he stepped up, and so the whole team stepped up.
There you go.
This is going to be a great series. I'm excited for it. Bring it
I
on.
I have a feeling we're going to talk NBA till June 18th, which is Game 7. So it might be a long.
Game 7, right?
Game 7 is June 18th.
I
Game 6 is June 15th, right? There's 2 days rest in at least 2 days rest in this NBA Finals, except Game 4 when there's 1 day's rest. So there's going to be a lot of time off for these players in between. And of course you got to fit in the NHL Finals as well. So lots going on here. So check out Rod over at Pick Dodge Premium. Of course, Rod, let them know about your morning show and your video series.
Yeah, definitely tune in, like, subscribe, so you get notified when those Puck Dog videos get released on the NHL Finals. And definitely tune in, me, Mitch, and Chris, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time for the morning show. Definitely love going over today's card and discussing any other sports info that pops up, or who has ever, whatever they got on the card, or what kind of dogs they're serving over at the Cub Stadium or over in Arizona. So far, there's Oakland, and definitely the menu's not very good. They might want to up the food. Might draw some more people in.
It might be. Might have to be there. There might probably school lunches. Probably. Probably
That's what we said. Yeah, school lunches. Yeah, it's who bag lunch. There you go. That's about what you get. It didn't look very good, appetizing over there.
Not at all. And the employees look always mad over there. There's always stuff on YouTube about their employees really giving the fans a hard time.
Probably no employee discount. No, you play full price.
You get full price, or you got to sit. We need to check your ticket to make sure you sit in the right area. All right, guys.
The right area. Yeah.
Yep. They got to calm them down over there. All right, Rod. Have a great night. We'll catch up with you Steak Friday.
Good luck, Tony. Have yourself a good one. We'll see you Friday.
You got
everybody else tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, on the morning show, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Rod Zawacky here on the drive. So let's continue on, guys. You missed a pick. We're going to recap at the end of the show. Let's continue on. Time for El Ninos to catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium in the Skype world today. We're bringing him in right now. El Ninos, what's happening?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing, Tony?
Doing great. All right, here we go. I should have changed the game. Didn't change the game in time. Phillies Mets is what you're looking at.
Yeah, I'm looking at a pretty interesting matchup here. One that the Mets have dominated, at least fairly recently. They've won 7 of the last 8 meetings, but we're going to look at this pitching matchup here, which is, 2 pretty good lineups. Both teams have pretty good hitters, but also not the most consistent lineups in the leagues either. So definitely should be interesting to see which one of those shows up. But again, the starting pitching matchup here is what we'll be looking at. And I just think that in this series, they've already lost Game 1 yesterday, and I think this one will be their best shot to earn a win in this series. Much tougher one coming up tomorrow. So I think they really have to make the most of this pitching matchup and earn themselves a win here, and a rare win in this series. And expect so you could look at the Phillies in the first 5 innings and full game, looking at them both ways here. And but we'll be looking at them on the money line for the show. So give me the Phillies to get a rare win over the Mets here.
All right, we got the El Ninos here on the Phillies here, minus 109 here against the Mets. Yeah, Carrasco is really tough to stomach here. It's been some pretty bad numbers in 2023. The strikeout rate's only 13% here. You're facing the Phillies lineup that can hit. That's something they can do. They can hit. And also almost 2 home runs per 9 innings. So the Mets bullpen has struggled at home. And here's something interesting I've pulled out here. Carrasco as a home underdog of plus 100 or higher. Team record behind him. El Ninos just 2-16.
Ouch, yeah, that's almost worse than what the Phillies have done against the Mets. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, but those are some rough numbers right there. And he's not having his best season for sure. Definitely never been an ace or anything, but pretty rough season for him. And obviously, as you mentioned, now rough situation for him coming up as well.
El Ninos here, Phillies minus 109 here against the Mets. So this one will have a start time of 7 Eastern Time. All right, El Ninos, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge for tonight's action. Of course, we do have 6 games on the board here for Major League Baseball. Good results in baseball for El Ninos, 864 units of profit, all documented over at Pick Dodge Premium. We'll have a big card tomorrow from baseball. We have 7 games tomorrow in baseball. We'll have the NBA finals starting with Game 1. What do you have going over at Pick Dodge Premium?
We're actually in the middle of a 3-in-1 day right now, so those units are up in the MLB, over 1,000 units now on the season. Still got my best bet of the night if you want to check that out. I had my best bet of the day go off earlier, but I still got one I really like a lot tonight. And also have my play-in for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. So get a long-term pass if you want to get both, or just check either pack up you want to pick up, or again, best way to go is usually those long-term or 2-for-1 capper passes.
That's right, guys. Got on board with Ninos over at Pick Dodge. You see the great results here from MLB. A clutch grand slam here from Ninos. His $19 pre and play comes from Major League Baseball, so get on board with that. Or the long-term pass. Remember, that 1 month pass to get you all Ninos pre and plays from baseball for 30 days. The entire NHL and NBA Finals are covered there with that 1 month pass. Pick is a promo code. You'll save 15% off it. Excuse me, I just had to sneeze here. Just dealing with the old sniffles here. But anyway, at least it's not affecting my throat, just affecting my nose. But anyway, got on board with Ninos. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. All right, Al, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
All right, bless you, Tony, and thanks again. Have a good one.
You got Ninos here on the drive. Thank goodness Al's camera is on, and I have this little quick mute button right here. That came in handy. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. It's time now for my pick. Let's get my game odds, and then we'll get to the recap. All right. Actually, you don't need my game odds. I'm just going to tell you. I'm going NBA here, right? We're going NBA, not baseball. So let's go back here. Let's just go back to my full screen and give you the pick here in this one. And we will be going here. Jamal Murray, NBA Finals MVP plus 1,400. Murray's really come on right now. And I know Jokic, look, he's great. I think Miami, Spoelstra is going to have a very good game plan for Jokic, but I think that opens up Murray here to have a big series. And that's really what it comes down to. Jokic, minus 360. Some people say he's minus 500 to be the MVP. That's a big number. I'm not going to go there, but I would go. I like the Nuggets. I liked the Nuggets early to start the season. That was my NBA Finals prediction. I'm going to stick to it. So I'm not going to change here. I like the Nuggets. I saw the Nuggets in the remember, I saw the Nuggets in the preseason. I went to that game when they played the Clippers out here, and I told you I thought they were going to win the finals, and I still feel that way. So that's the way it rolls. And I did say Murray is going to start slow, come on strong, and that's what's happened, right? He's come on strong. It's kind of set up for, obviously Jokic is going to get votes, but again, Murray could be the guy here if they're going to concentrate a lot here on Jokic inside. Remember Eric Gordon around the bucket. So I'm going to take the value here with Jamal Murray MVP to win the NBA Finals here at plus 1,400 because I do like the Nuggets to win the series. That's where I'm coming from there. All right, guys, check out Pick Dodge Premium. Got a 3-pack up there on the board for Major League Baseball, so get on board. Also, my long-term pass. It's my 3, 7, or 30-day all sports pass. Get all of my pre and plays for that time period. Just select when you go to my handicapper page, make that purchase. Remember that promo code, PICK at checkout, and you'll be able to save that 15% off. So use that promo code PICK at checkout. All right, let's continue here on the drive. So let's get to the recap. Chris got to start with Astros run line. Laid the run in half, plus 113 against the Twins. Mitch liked the Heat to win the NBA title at plus 320. Al McMordie here, Milwaukee run line. Take the plus 1.5 runs, minus 133 against Toronto. Waiting on the Yankees Mariners over 7.5. Rod likes Rockies Diamondbacks over 10. Ninos here on the Phillies, minus 109 against the Mets. I like Jamal Murray, NBA Finals MVP here. The return plus 1,400. The game I like the most, I like Ninos here with that Phillies minus 109 against the Mets. Carrasco's had the struggles, and we told you team record behind Carrasco 2-16 as a home underdog is a plus 100 or higher. So on that route there. All right, let's give you a quick update here on the scores here as we're winding down some of these these afternoon games. Of course, Nationals and Dodgers is the game in progress right now. It has gone final, just final, 10-6 is your final score here. It was Nationals really come up big here with a 5-5 tie, and then they came out with the 5 runs here in the final 2 innings to get past the Dodgers there in a big one. Pirates get the win here 9-4 against the Giants. Braves cover the run line 4-2 against Athletics. They salvaged that final game. Guardians big here 12-8 against the Orioles. Rays 4-3. They salvaged one here in Chicago. Angels 12-5 with the victory. They got to Lance Lynn pretty good here in this one. Lynn really having his struggles. Rangers lose here. Tigers get one 3-2 was your final. That's your scoreboard update. Then it takes you to the afternoon games. All right, that's going to do it here for this edition of the Drive-Thru, guys. Make sure you're tuning in tomorrow live here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring our cappers here from Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. They'll go to their place for you live here on the show. Don't forget, it always gets started 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The morning show, Mitch. You got Rod. You got Chris here with the morning show. Also, Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. Nerfies, your fees from Mitch. Betting Tool Show. Nick has his Nick Menken with his your fees, Nerfies. Mike Davis with his Monday, Wednesday, Friday show. Also, his prize picks. And, of course, that first 5 inning picks as well from Mike. Ron Romanelli's Major League Baseball Rundown. Pick from every game on the board from Major League Baseball from Ron Romanelli. Jay's Jam Session. Tune in live again tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Time for Game 1 coverage. Also, the morning drop is from Jay as well. And of course, Mills is prop plays for you as well here on the channel. So lots of content, lots of live shows, guys. So make sure you like, subscribe, and set those notifications. Get notified when the games are dropped and when the shows are on live so you get the best numbers with the picks. That's going to do it for the show. Let's go ahead and bring in our crew here from today's show. Reminder, we will be back again here tomorrow live here at 6 p.m. each time with the drive-thru. We'll bring in our cappers tonight. We're going to wait goodbye, guys. You guys have a great afternoon, evening. We'll catch up.